all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Yeah, I have a couple of precepts written up here. Of course, you want to make noise and then I start talking. But I have some couple of precepts here. I want to go on the topic. You see where it's written, but I have here cleansing and restoration, because that's what we're in the middle of right now. We're in the middle of the cleansing, because this place is a filthy place, and this place needs to be destroyed. Because you see the minds of the people, it's filthy. You have the Roe versus Wade thing, where women are thinking about, or some women think it's okay for them to, I don't want to say the word, but they think it's okay for them to destroy their kids. You have man v'man, I have to say it in a kind of accent, like, for you to understand. You know, female, these type of things.
Oh, you know, Salah, real quick, since you mentioned Roe v. Wade, right? The elder Yashawamba put up a post, and in the post it showed how you got women saying, "Oh, give us the right to kill our babies," right? And then a nigga goes and shoots up an elementary school, and they talking about stop killing our babies.
Thank you.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, so if you want to be able to kill your babies, but somebody else say he can't do it,
I'm just doing it for you.
That's it. Fuck all these shorts, man.
But before we get into things, can you get me Matthew 11 and 7? Because we're not here to look pretty, because before I get into the subject, I want to get into this, because some people think that the prophets are supposed to be out here looking all nice, smooth, clean face. We're supposed to talk to you nice, look a certain way. We're not supposed to come out. We're not going to look how Joel Osteen looks with a suit and tie and things like that, or T.D. Jakes, they're always smiling and things like that. We're going to get what Yahweh Shai said.
Yeah, there's a precept that I was going to...
Oh, you can get that.
Oh, that's the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Since you mentioned that. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 7. And as they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see?
Right, because I believe it's Isaiah 40:3. It says, prepare you the way, make his path straight. That talks about John in the book of Isaiah.
Right, I'm one crying in the wilderness.
Yeah. So Yahushua is saying, basically, in English terms, what did you go out there thinking you was going to see? Continue.
It says, a reed shaken with the wind? But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment?
Right, soft raiment, just to use an easy example, is like what IUIC did with their Passover, when they had the nice garments and everything. I'm not going to lie, you know, in the flesh, them garments look nice. Nice leather garments, the fur and everything. You know, when you look nice, you know, you got to have that walk, and Bishop Nate came through with the kind of cool walk, so you know it's like, yeah, you know, when you dress nice, you got to have that walk. So yeah, you know, when men wear soft raiment, you know, they dress well and things like that, and that's how they think that that's the mindset that they have about these men in the churches. T.D. Jakes, Gino Jennings, I think there's another one. T.D. Jakes, they have this nice clothing, so they think, oh well, I want to hear what he has to say because he has nice clothing. But you have to understand, did you go out there to listen to a man that has nice clothing, or did you go out there to listen to his words?
All right, gone. Continuing, and it also mentions about a reed shaking with the wind, because a reed that's shaking with the wind basically showing like it doesn't have that backbone, you know, to keep it firm. You know, it's blown around, which is like a man that, you know, he doesn't have the cojones to speak what's right. You know, he'll just say whatever it is just to appease the crowd and whatnot. But like you said, that ain't what we're here for. So this is Matthew chapter 11, continuing at verse 8. But what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in the king's houses.
Right, so they're in high positions, they're in lofty positions where they don't care about you. What was it? I think it was a couple of years ago, there was a flood in Texas. What's his name? Joel Osteen ain't opened the door for you people in Texas. What's that about? Why he ain't opening the door to his congregation? Right. Oh, I didn't want the church to flood or whatever. It's the house of the Lord, right? Ain't the Lord going to protect it and stop the waters? But you see, but that's like what I said. People think that the prophets are supposed to have nice, look nice. They're supposed to talk to you soft and things like that. No, when you read about the prophets were rough. It tells you about Elijah, he was a rough man. He was a hairy man.
Right.
Samuel, he hacked the man to pieces.
Right.
So when he came through, I believe that was to anoint David. The men that saw him was shaking. They was like, come here peaceably. You come here, everything cool. when people saw the prophets, they knew that the word of the Lord followed behind it. It was like, oh shit, it's him. So it's like, is everything gonna be all right? What's the word of the Lord today?
Right. Keep going on that, or you?
No, that would be it. So we came out there, and you get matter of fact, I'll get it.
What is it?
Get Ezekiel 3 and 7. And I'll get another piece.
What was the other one? I hold it for you. Is it in Apocrypha? I can pull it on my phone.
It's two of them in there. Sirach 19 and 29.
All right.
Slacky got a lot of precepts, so I apologize if I keep looking down, just don't want to forget.
1929.
Yeah, but you can start with Ezekiel 3 and 7.
Right. All right. So this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter was it 3 and
3 and 17, Slacky.
Ezekiel 3 and 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me.
So we came out here to give you warning, just like the prophets of before. We didn't come out here to speak nice to you, look nice, talk nice, and things like that. We came out here to give you a message. We came out here to give you the truth. Whether you hear or forbear, that's on you, but the blood is off our hands. Once we tell you the message, your opinion doesn't matter. The words of the Most High matter. Once we give you the message, if you don't listen and think, that's too rough, I don't like the way you're coming out with it, you cursing and things like that. So for you new and fruit who are coming into the faith, you gotta understand, you're not here for people to like you. You're here to serve the Lord, and for the Lord to be for the Lord to like you, for you to get that message, thou good and faithful servant.
There you go.
You're not here to. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
No, you
No, go right ahead.
Paul, I believe Paul said, though I be rude in speech,
You're not in knowledge.
yeah, you're not
I
a
might
knowledge.
become your enemy for because I tell you the truth. Roughly paraphrasing.
Fine.
Yep. Yep. And that's really a feminine spirit. You know, when you get told the truth, what it is. That's how women deal. You tell them what it is, and then they get hurt. They get mad. They try to find a way to play the victim. Oh, you were right, but you didn't have to say it like that. You know, you made me feel like I was, that kind of thing. You know, but a man, you got correction is correction. It doesn't matter how it comes out,
And some men will say, I feel you on that, but I still ain't fucking with it. And be like, all right, respect it.
Right. Then they really don't feel you on that.
But that was on that. But because I was gonna get Isaiah 3 and 10, but we could leave that. I'll just quote it because Isaiah 3 and 10 talks about there's gonna be a visitation, and that's what we're here to tell you about, the visitation that the Lord is coming to bring upon this earth. This earth needs to be cleansed because the minds of the people is destroyed because Esau is destroying the minds of the people with all this wayward and backward doctrine.
Right.
This is not how man was intended to live. This is not how the Most High wanted people to live on the earth. That's why he's called Satan, the devil. Satan, the adversary. He's adverse to what the Most High wants. He's not pro-life, he's anti-life.
Right.
That's why you have a whole bunch of people dying. That's why you have sickness going on. Why is it, I was on my way to camp here, and you see a whole bunch of homeless people on the street. Why aren't they taken care of if this man is so caring about everybody?
Right.
Now, what's that saying?
Sirach?
Yeah.
This is Sirach 19 and 27. Yeah. 29. A man may be known by his look.
Yeah, read that.
All right, this is the book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 29. It says, a man may be known by his look, and one that hath understanding by his countenance when thou meetest him.
Right, so that's the prophets. You can't expect the prophet to look all smiley. Hey, how you doing? Like the men be doing in the churches. Nah, a man may be known by his looks. So when he looks serious, that means he has a serious message. That means that you should listen to him. That means you should stop talking and hear what he has to say, and not care about the outer appearance, but listen to what he's saying. And I got a quick precept to back that one. This is Sirach 3 and 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment. So they think prophets are supposed to look nice, talk nice, but nah. You're supposed to listen to the words. The prophet means to say before. So you gotta listen to the words, not care about the outward appearance.
All right, I got a precept for you. Since you mentioned that. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 8. It says, now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits.
And that's not just our people, that's everybody. Everybody's like that. When you bring out this word, people do not like to hear it. Anytime you talk about what happened to our people, so-called black people, so-called white people they have that, what's it called, cognitive dissonance, where they just act like, oh, what's slavery? I don't know what you're talking about. That never happened. That slavery?
What's that?
And then our people, it's like you bring out certain precepts in the Bible, they definitely don't know because the pastors have never properly taught them. That's why they think that for God so loved the world. But I believe when you read, I think the 14th verse of John the 3rd chapter, it goes into he compares himself to the serpent in the wilderness.
Right.
When he was talking to Nicodemus. Why would he say that to Nicodemus? Because he knows that Nicodemus is a doctor in the law and he would understand what he's saying. It doesn't mean that for God so loved the world. He's not talking about the whole world. When Yahushua, I think it's the 14th verse, because he says it before 16th verse, he compares himself to that serpent from Numbers, the 21st chapter. And that serpent, that when Israel sinned against the Most High, the Lord started plaguing them with fiery serpents, and they was killing Israel in the wilderness.
Right.
And then what happened? Israel came to Moses, which at that time Moses was like a mediator between the Most High and Israel, and they said, pray to the Most High for us. And then Moses went to the Lord, Yahweh, and then what happened? Yahweh said, make a brazen serpent upon a pole. I think later it was called Nehushtan.
Yep, Nehushtan.
And then whoever looked upon the serpent, when they looked up to it, it bit them and they were healed. So he's likening himself unto that serpent for Israel. He's not likening himself to that serpent for the whole world, because that event only happened in the wilderness with the Israelites.
Right.
So it's not talking about everybody.
Right. Yeah, Egyptians and the other nations, they didn't even get the opportunity to look up to the serpent, because like you said, it wasn't even amongst them, you know. And even amongst the those that got the opportunity to look up, not all of them looked up. You know, some of them got bit for, you know, in terms of for destruction, and some to be healed. You know. What else you got?
We're going to the next part. You can hold for me Wisdom of Solomon 6, 6th chapter. Because we're going to go into why this place needs to be cleansed, because like I was saying, the minds of this people is just gone, man. Like I mentioned earlier, and the scriptures speak about this, the Roe versus Wade, the man and man, woman and women, it defiles your mind. And this is why we need to be cleansed. This is why we need the word to cleanse our mind from the filth of this world.
Right.
So that way we don't partake in the destruction, man. Because like I said, the scriptures speak about a visitation that's coming upon the world. And you're seeing that now. I think Joe Biden mentioned on the news how over 1 million people died of the
CVPD?
Yeah, there you go. Gotta get with the times. If you're new, you gotta catch up with this stuff, because before, brothers used to just say it out there, but now YouTube is clamping down, so we gotta speak in code, just like the scriptures is spoken in code.
Right. All right. You want to start from the top?
Yeah.
All right. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 1. Hear therefore, O ye kings.
And this is to you Edomites, you ruling class elites, you top banking families. Continue.
And understand. Learn, ye that be the judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, ye that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord.
Right, Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The Lord gave this world into their hand. Continue.
And sovereignty from the highest, who shall try your works and search out your counsels.
Right, he's searching out your counsels because he's revealing your stuff to be, everything that you're about to be wicked. Through the spirit of his mouth, I believe that's Thessalonians, where the Lord said, I will,
the brightness of the spirit of his mouth.
get that real quick, I don't want to butcher it.
This is the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed.
Which if I'm not mistaken, wicked, it's with uppercase W, right?
Yep.
So that's how you know it's something specific. It's talking about Esau, Edom, that wicked. Because yeah, you have wicked of our nation, and yeah, the other nations are wicked, but there is the wicked.
There you go.
And that's them.
Right. So it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
Which is the prophets, us, exposing this man. I believe in Obadiah says, how are the hidden things that each saw searched out? How is his hidden things revealed?
It says here, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Right, so that's when Yahushua comes back with the chariots. But right now, before Yahushua comes back, this man has to be revealed, and all his filthiness has to be sought out. Just like if you're going to clean things, you know you have to move everything out the way. Sometimes my mother does. She'll get a flash. What the hell is that right there? And then you gotta get the clean, whatever she uses to clean, and get it all out. So before you clean the thing, you're not just gonna clean anywhere, because you gotta see what you're cleaning. Because you might have certain things that might be like a muck, you know, certain things you gotta go like that. So that's what the Lord is doing. He's exposing Esau through us and exposing all his filth, and then he's gonna clean it.
Right. So go back to Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 4. Because ye ministers of his Salakia, because being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of God. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places.
Right, that's it on that. But yeah, that's the visitation of the Lord, because you're not ruling the people off of the law, statutes, and commandments. You're not ruling the people with the Bible. You sit here and call yourself a God-fearing country, but yet you don't. Always, every president, it's always God bless America, God bless America. But why is it everything's God bless America? But why don't you listen to the words of this book?
Right.
If you're so God bless America and you love God, why is it that you don't listen to his words? You're a hypocrite, man. You're all talk. You only act like you're about the Lord, but you're really not. And these churches that you set up, they act like they're about the Lord, but really you're teaching false doctrines in the church. You're not leading the people right. You're not leading the people to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You're leading people to DJ JC. This is why they're dancing up in the churches, acting a damn fool. Now, when we have our holy days and things like that, do brothers, you know, I won't say act a fool, but do brothers, you know,
Chill out.
yeah. But not like them damn churches, man. I've seen certain things where you got this one guy, they got the Break the Chain song, and he has a chain, he's a... I'm like, what the hell is this? That's not what it's talking about.
Yeah.
But that's Christianity for you, man. Just a whole bunch of nonsense.
Yeah. Demon house. That's what it is. That's what they be doing. They be catching spirits in there. You know?
You should hit it, break every chair. And this man just... and you can tell he's struggling. And he's a big man too. He ain't no little scrawny dude. I'm talking, man, this man's probably like a Broly.
Oh, shit.
Man is just struggling. I'm like, yo, you big as hell. Man just eventually he broke it, but it's like, nigga, you big as hell, you should break that shit.
They're supposed to give him that the fake chain. Niggas messed up and gave him the real shit.
Yeah, next you know he never broke it. I guess you ain't breaking the chain. Or I guess JC ain't breaking the chains for you.
He putting the chains on. That's how you do it. Oh shoot. Hey, but you know what? Ultimately they're a joke. You know, a lot of them are just there to look. When you read the book Satan's Angels Exposed, it goes into how a lot of these pastors are actually witches and warlocks. Literally. You know, it's not pastors who became witches and warlocks, it's witches and warlocks who became pastors. You know, pastors to come and deceive the people, because if you put a witch and a warlock and an agent in that position, he knows exactly what to say and exactly what not to say, as opposed to try and train somebody in there to say, don't say this, don't say this. Now, it's not all of them, but the big majority of them, they're like that. And that's why they hear and hear and hear, but they're not going to change their ways, because you can't get through to them. You know, because you're dealing with these witches, these warlocks.
Right, and how are you supposed to take someone serious like that who's doing that type of foolishness? But then they'll look at us and say, oh, you guys are crazy. But look what this guy's doing. And there's worse. I think it was you that told me about that video where they started fighting. I actually thought it was fake.
Yeah.
How are you fighting in the church of God, in the house of God?
Yep.
What kind of stuff is that?
Yep.
And in the terms that we're coming here, ain't the church, the Christian church and all that, ain't your church supposed to be the most secure place on the earth, where people can go to the house of God and feel safe?
But didn't the church get shot up like not too long ago?
What are you talking about, Dylan Roof?
Yeah, no. I think there was another case. Like there was some like, damn. I think recently a church got shot up or so. I know a supermarket got hit, but I think recently a church got hit too or something like that. And it was like more older Jakes, women, and stuff like that. Or maybe I'm just tripping, But I thought I heard something like that. But hey, it just goes to show you, man. It's funny because it's like that you have that reoccurring event happening over there, and you wonder why. It's supposed to be the house of God. Where he at? It's like the Elijah and Baal, the situation.
Right. It's like, where is he at? Is he chasing somebody? Is he sleeping? Is he dreaming? Wake him.
You're on a business trip.
When is JC gonna wake up and say, oh no touching nobody here today?
Right.
Nah, but when we call upon our power, Yahweh Bashim Ashah, things pop up, things happen. The
Right.
earth starts to shake.
Yep.
I believe that's in what you call it, I think it's Psalms 18th chapter, where basically David is talking about how the Lord is his
Right,
rock,
right,
his
right,
strength,
right, right.
and he talks about how the Lord sent a chariot
Yep.
to defend him.
Yep.
That's when the Lord heard his cries.
Yep.
He said, the Lord said he heard me, he delivered me from my strong enemy. He delivered me
Just
from
the many
the
waters.
from the deep waters.
Yep.
And it said from the blast of his nostril, he said like he flied upon the wings of the wind. That's talking about a chariot.
Yep.
The Lord sent for David to destroy the enemies when they came against him.
Really
Eh.
spiritual too, because it sounds like what the Lord is going to do now. You know, looking at David as the elect, you know, that's what the Lord is going to do. He is going to deliver us from the midst of these waters. Because when you go to Revelation, the 17th chapter, it tells you how the waters represent peoples and tongues and multitudes and nations. You know, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think it's also, I think it might be Psalms 142. Talks about if the Most High had not protected us, then the waters would have overtook us, overflood us.
There you go. Yep. Yep.
You can go into, I apologize, brother.
You good?
It's Sirach 10 and 2. He ain't got pairing the camera on that, but just things like that I've been seeing all day, man. Like women with their hair different colors, they're wearing tight ass jeans, and I'm gonna go into the Me Too thing because I was looking up the Me Too thing and how women are, the Me Too thing is about how women are saying that, oh, me too, I was abused and things like that. But here it is, you have what? Some women are using that as a platform to what? Now fucking accuse people, and the
yeah.
scriptures go against that. You should not. You shouldn't accuse, bear false witness.
Yeah. Raise up a false report.
But yeah, you have the Me Too thing, and yeah, are some of them correct? Yes. Are some of them true? But not all of them. And also, the person who started that Me Too thing was a black woman. Her name was Tarana Burke.
With a name like that, what you expect?
Hey, I'm not gonna say nothing, but just well, actually, now that you say that, look up a picture and see and you'll understand. I think it's Tanara, and it's Burke. Look up a picture of her. Nah,
it sounds like a tarantula.
Look up a
what does
picture.
scripture say? Her heart is what? Snares and nets and bands. That's what them spiders do. You know, they get you in their web and then they just wrap your ass up and you done. Like in the Lord of the Rings, there's that giant ass. I don't know if y'all remember.
Yeah, the third one. There's
Yeah,
the third one.
Yeah. What's her name?
Tanara, and it's Burke.
Tanara Burke.
I think that's how you say it. Yeah.
Oh, Tarana. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yo.
She was assaulted or something, or somebody touched her.
Huh?
Yeah.
Who gonna want to do that? Yo, look, man. You gotta stay away from these. Nah, man.
And you gotta be careful, man. I know some of these women, we in the flesh, some of these women, you look at them, they look nice, but you have to be careful, man. These women will use you and things like that to get get some money off you. Look at what happened.
She does not look nice. She'll be the one assaulting. You know what I'm saying? Yo.
But what the thing with the whole Johnny Depp and
My brother said he can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it? Let me put it up. Let me put up the brightness too. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
yeah, you got the thing with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and it's being shown
You catch
that
it?
Amber Heard is lying. Matter of fact, there was a there was a detective that was doing TikTok videos, and he was saying he can tell that Johnny Depp is telling the truth and Amber Heard is lying because when Johnny Depp is telling his stories, he's basically accessing what he calls memories. So when Johnny Depp explains things that's going on, like when he was explaining how his finger thing, he was going like this, saying I was sitting here, then she was over there, and then I was sitting like this, and then eventually I put my hand like this. So when he's explaining his stories, you can tell that it really happened because he's explaining everything in detail. But when she explains that how she says that Johnny Depp kicked her in the back, she said, oh well, I just felt a foot in my back and then I felt so embarrassed. You mean to tell me that the first thing you think about when you're getting kicked in the back is you're embarrassed?
Yeah, that's crazy.
But he said when he got his finger, he was like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you? So you can tell that someone's lying because when they tell a story, they're accessing memories because when a person lies, they have to make up the story.
Yeah.
But when a person is telling the truth, they don't have to make up a story because they were there and everything that happened to him, they saw it before it happened. And when his finger or like the top of his finger got cut off or whatever, he's explaining everything in detail about what happened.
Yeah.
But her, it's all lies, and everybody can tell. And every time when I was watching the stuff, she's always like this. Here's the attorney talking to her or whatever, and then she
She
goes
was looking
to,
that way, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, who is she looking to? 'Cause I'm like, I know she's looking here,
Yeah.
but then she goes over
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Yeah. The person asked her a question. So Miss Heard, did Johnny Depp do this to you? I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you looking? She's asking you the question. The jury is just there to listen. You don't gotta look at them and talk to them.
yeah. Hey, but that's these women, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all that shit. First off, that the fact that they got it going on for that long, man. There's clearly some political agenda behind it, just like there
Yeah,
is
distractions.
for this. Yeah, for this like Texas yada yada who went and did what he did. There's always a political agenda behind it. But yeah, just even in it, as you were saying, it's like the shit don't make sense. They asking her questions about what happened. She talking about her dog stepped on a bee. Bitch, what?
Oh,
What?
yeah.
My dog stepped on a bee. And it's like, then she gonna talk about it was so crazy. He had the dog outside the window of the car, and then they played a clip of her having the dog outside the window of the car as the car was moving. Say yo, man. And so it just goes to show you, man, they ain't. But back to your point about the Me Too, that's what they do. They're raising up a false report, and the Most High is gonna judge them for that because
Right.
that's against the law.
And that's how the people, as a matter of fact, that could go into Sirach 10 and 2 real quick.
Yep.
Because Esau's a scumbag. Esau is a false accuser. So what do you think the people are going to be like?
Yep. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 2. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
And what are the judge? You have the top, the banking families, and then the judges would be like the lesser luminaries, the one that oversees certain things. Right?
Right.
Continue.
It says here, and what and what manner of man the ruler of the city is.
Right. So if he's righteous, people are going to be righteous. If he's wicked, people are going to be wicked. Continue.
It says, such are all they that dwell therein.
Right, and that's why people do such scumbag things in this world, because Esau promotes this stuff on the world.
Right.
This is why this place needs a cleansing, because like it says, I believe it, I have that precept written, but I'll just quote it. Micah 2 and 10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. It is surely polluted, it will destroy you, even with the sword destruction. Because this place is polluted, the minds of the people, you can't actually have something in this place.
What do you think that is? Right up there. It's about to go into the...
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it could be a shot. Yeah, too fast to be a bird, too small to be too
I
high.
can't see.
Ah, it's gone. They entered the church.
Damn.
It's like it.
Yeah. But this is why you can't have a woman here, because if you try to have a woman here, you got to be scared. She might try to post a Me Too thing on you.
Yeah.
Or some of these women, if they think that you messing with another woman, they start getting all crazy. I've heard stories, and I'm pretty sure brothers that watch this video have heard stories. Women have, you've either seen on Instagram or Facebook, or actually heard a story. Women will light your rod on fire, try to chop it off. If they, I've heard stories, yes.
Yep,
Real life
yep.
stories. They'll try to chop it off or light you on fire, light your rod on fire. And we'll sit there and look at you like, yeah, I did it. Look, see how I'm looking at you in the eye? No problem.
Oh, shit. Nah.
So how can you have something? You want to have kids with that? Some of them will tell you, oh, I'll run away with your kids. I've actually been told that. I'll run away with your kids.
It's about to turn us into eunuchs, man, because these women are wilding out, man. This shit is crazy.
This is why Paul said you should have much trouble in the flesh,
Oh, yeah.
especially in this kingdom. And that was back then, during the Roman kingdom. How much more now?
These women ain't women. They're not women because by the definition of a woman, they don't fit that. They're a new beast, created in Babylon. That's the title right there. Created in Babylon, the new beast. And you got an image of the Israelite woman, because that's what they are, and the men too. But the women, I mean, see, this is why they were kept in check in the ancient world, because in the ancient world, everybody was on one accord. So a woman couldn't pull her shit because the community would know what she's trying to do. And they wouldn't let that fly. Today, Esau has promoted it to where the community accepts that shit. So when she tries to pull that on you, she could run out to the world and then they'll support her. And then it allows her to do that shit.
It gives her courage. It gives her that empowerment.
There you go.
So now she feel like his sister says, a woman shall come past a man. She'll go around his authority. So now she feels like she can say things to you. I seen something on Facebook yesterday where chicks were like, I'm going to start treating men like hoes now, like the hoes they are. Women are talking like men.
Oh, straight up. They're not women.
They're sitting there saying, I'm going to start talking to dudes, basically saying, where you at? I'm trying to fuck. I'm going to start treating you like the hoes that you are.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell, bro?
Yeah, but like you said, that's why the cleansing is coming. But you know what? That's all right, because them people, when them people in jail get let out in these times, when the power goes out, like American Blackout, right? I did a video on it. When you watch that movie, they weren't talking like men. The women in the movie weren't talking like men. They're out here talking about how shit is getting hard, you know, and yada yada. And look, man, in that time, society today has it to where a man cannot really be a man, because naturally, when somebody starts talking to you in a certain kind of disrespectful tone, it triggers something in you. You know, it triggers that, and that's how men get into fights, because it triggers, like in the Boondocks, they call it a nigga moment.
I never watched that show.
You know, oh, you gotta check it out. A nigga moment.
That's
It's
what
like,
I was asking you. Was that with the dude when he drop kicked him? When he started
yes,
possessing.
yeah. That there you
Okay.
go. There you go. That's a nigga moment. So you walk in, you know, you bump somebody, and they show you that it's demons that hop on him. Because the second he bumped him, he walked past, and then he turned around. He turned around. That's when the shit got on him, and this nigga just drop kicked the dude in the chest. And then they said, like, the nigga moment, it just keeps on going and going and going. So but not dealing with nigga moments, because we're not niggas, but there's something in you that gets triggered as a man, right? So now when a woman starts to talk to you a certain kind of way, especially or disrespectfully, it triggers that in you. But in this society, they suppress that. So that trigger is what gives you that adrenaline to put her in her place. You know, like she starts talking crazy. You notice, you may see it in like a movie or a show. A woman starts talking crazy, so the man raises up his voice and he shuts that shit down, right? In this society, they demonize that and they call it toxic masculinity. So a man doesn't have that, you know, he's not able to fully do that, because the second he does that, exactly, she's gonna play the victim. And that's why they're running around rampant talking about, I'm a nigga and I'm gonna start treating these niggas like these hoes. When all hell breaks loose, you try that. Because when all hell breaks loose, there ain't no such thing as toxic masculinity. Them troops are gonna be having a good, you know what I'm saying? So these women are gonna be done. Even right now, they got police officers that are sexually assaulting women. So what you think is gonna be happening in that time when you got a dude that says, yeah, I'm a cop, come with me, and you go with him and you never return?
Matter of fact, 2 points to what you said to the when a man wants to shut a woman down, when he wants to, you know, when she starts talking to him a certain way. I believe there's a precept, I can't remember where it is, in Jeremiah. It talks about how the Lord is saying that his people crying at him like a lion. Therefore, I hate it. So if you try to talk to the Lord in a certain way, how much more a man? Because remember, we're made in his image.
Right.
So imagine you try to talk to Yahweh on some type of tone. If he's gonna have a reaction, how much more many Yahwehs?
Right. Yeah. It's a trigger, because he's the ultimate lion, you know. So when you they show you that, like in the movie Twilight, the one with the vampires and the werewolves. Oh, you never watched that? There's a scene in there where in the wolf you have the pack, and you have the leader of the pack, and basically if they like try to go at it, you know, they'll step to each other, but one will ultimately overpower the other, and the other will come down and shit. But you know, they'll start to raise their voice and start that growling shit. So when you step to somebody else and you start growling and showing teeth, and you start, you know, trying to overpower them, and that triggers them to, you know, show you. So there's a scene in there where I forgot who it was trying to step to the alpha, and he shut him down with that. Because when he started trying to growl, the alpha, you know, it triggered his growl, which was more alpha than the other guy.
Right, it's like, who is you?
Yeah, exactly. So it caused him to humble down. So look, man, I always say this, man. For a woman to have masculine energy, it's a complete turnoff. And as a matter of fact, beyond that, it's actually aggravating. It pisses you off, because if you show me masculine energy, that means that you should be able to take whatever is gonna come after that. You know? If a dude comes up to you talking crazy, something might go down. So, but they want to play the card where the woman talks to you crazy, but you can't do nothing to her. You see? That's the card.
She hits you and everything, and it's like,
and then you end up in court like Johnny Depp. Never heard.
Excuse me. This is a piece from the brother Hoyal Awar, Lamentations 4 and 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness.
Yep. Yeah, because when you keep on reading down on that, it talks about the famine that hit, but it goes to tell you how they're going to even eat their children. So when she eating her children, you gonna see if she look. When shit gets serious out here, all that little hot girl summer playing around, that shit is gonna stop. These gas prices are going through the roof, and this summer they're talking about rolling blackouts, along with extremely insane electricity bills, along with food prices going up, with inflation about to turn into hyperinflation. These women are not gonna be able to take care of themselves
In the heat.
in the heat. You remember you showed me that picture of some woman, her shoes were melting because of how hot it was.
Yeah.
So what you think, she's not gonna turn on her AC? So when her shit gets, hard times come in, see, she gonna forget that she was talking all that shit, or she gonna hope you forgot. And she gonna try to come to you, but a lot of these men, they're not gonna wanna hear that. Some of them might, but they might get got anyway. But some of them are not gonna wanna hear that at all, because now what you're seeing is a lot of men are having a lot of these YouTube channels and podcasts where they start where they start to talk about, yo, take your masculinity back, don't let these women talk to you anyhow. That kind of energy is pushed out there now. So you got a lot of men that are gonna say, look, I'm not dealing with this shit, get out of here, get your stuff and get out. I was watching a video, and it basically, there was this dude, he basically called his girl, right? This bitch gonna talk about, he was going through her phone, she was standing right there, and he was recording her, he was going through the phone, she gonna talk about, he's like, yo, who's this guy? Apparently, she was flirting with this dude, all right? And then he says, all right, so why were you doing it? She's talking about, I needed money, so I was flirting with him so he could give me money. And he said, no, you were doing more than that. Because he ended up finding a video on her phone where, she was engaging in adulterous activities with the other guy, And then, not to be explicit, but to tell the story I got to, basically he said that in the clip, the joint slipped out and she put it back in, and then the dude asked her, does she like it? Does it feel good? She's talking about, yeah. He's like, so the next scene, you got her on the floor, hugged up onto his leg, talking about, I don't want to lose you, I don't want to lose you, I'm not leaving. He's like, look, get the hell out of here, I'm leaving. And she's like, I don't want to lose you, I'll send you $10,000. He said, send it right now. She really sent that shit. Yeah.
Did he still leave?
I think so. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
But it goes to show you, like, shit like this is cool. I mean, the fact that you can. And then there was another one that said that the dude came in. Gangs and stuff like that, they have people they call ops, right, or whatever the case is. So, dude came in and caught his quote unquote op dealing with his woman in front of his child. I'm just like, yo, but where's Elam? Where's Moab? You know what I'm saying? Where's Ammon doing this shit? All you see in here is Jake. Shit is crazy, man. But that goes to show you that who is the curse upon? It's upon Jake.
2 points. One point to back you up on how women are not going to do those things in those days. I have Lord's one, if I remember, I'll post the video in the chat. I found a video on Instagram where this guy Jake is on, like, he has a whole bunch of demons on him, and he's wearing tights, right? And he's coming down on the train acting all crazy, fuck nigga, and then he goes and sits next to him. And he don't even sit, he goes. And then the woman that's right next to him, right? They get up, he starts saying so he get all crazy. Two of them get up, but one's about to. Oh, you know what I'm talking about, right?
That was a dude? I thought that was a chick.
No, it's a dude. He grips her hair like this and is like,
sit down.
Oh,
for like a good, probably like a minute, maybe almost 2 minutes, and you can tell it's in good enough quality, you can see it. She's like, but then
just
she
go
has,
for help.
But she has to like stand there and just do nothing.
She said, somebody please help me, and everybody just walking by.
And I've seen women comment, so no guy did nothing, none of them niggas gonna do nothing. But
why don't you do something?
no, I seen comments, but it was
why don't they? If they were there, they would have done shit either.
Exactly. But me thinking, it's like, so nobody was gonna help, but it's like, you have to understand, that's the times we're coming in where men aren't gonna help. Right. Men are just gonna look at that and just say nothing. Or you might have another man jump in.
Yeah.
Or if he really wanted to, the way he was gripping her up, the way nobody said anything, he could just take off and nobody would. I thought he was gonna take off the train.
Well, there was a story not too long ago about a dude that raped a woman on the train with people on the train.
Oh yeah.
For like what, 40 minutes or some shit?
And people were just watching.
Yeah, they were just there, just watching and recording. So how much, like you said, how much more for in that time? You might be on the train and two dudes just come in there and pick up a woman and get off the train. And just pick up, and she's like, I don't know them, please help. And they're just like, oh, what's going on?
That's gonna be the what was that? It's a meme. Will Smith from what was it? I Am Legend, where he's like this thing. They're gonna pretend like I don't know. He's gonna, help me, please.
Yep. Because at the end of the day, guess what? When reality sets in, fear is real. But they're in such luxury that they forget about something called fear. A lot of these women haven't felt fear in a long ass time. I'll say that. That's why they're so comfortable. There was a video, once again on the train. There, a lot of shit be happening on the train, man. Them trains are gonna be written about in the scriptures. Them trains. But there was a woman with a man, and she was talking shit because there was this Jake, he got on with his kids, and I forgot what happened, but I think she was like, chill out. She was an Edomite looking chick. She like, chill out. He was like, what you say? Oh, she should just shut the hell up. She didn't. She won't, cause her man was behind her. There's people on the train, so she thinking she about to say some shit. He said, say that shit again. She gonna open her mouth and say, chill out.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Punched her right in the mouth. She got quiet quick. She looked back to her man. He ain't do shit. He was just standing there. Oh shit. Okay. Well, you should have chilled out, baby.
Yep. Yeah.
And so that's when she realized she was quiet the rest of the time. But that's when she realized, yo, these men are not fronting anymore. You actually punched me in the mouth. And when that sets in to the minds of these women,
And it was Jake.
exactly, when she knows that if she talks shit, she will actually get hit, and not who's gonna step in to intervene? She gonna be quiet. She gonna think twice. But some of these mentally deranged women, they still gonna talk shit because they want to taste it first. You know?
Yeah, brother once told me it's like Eve has to feel pain for some reason. It's not enough for you to warn them and say, chill out. That's not enough.
Right.
It's like, what's his name? The comedian that died years ago, his name was Patrice O'Neal. He had a show called The Black Dr. Phil. And he was talking about when he used to train his girl. He was at GameStop looking at some games or whatever. And then his woman was just like, oh my God. So then he was like, what the fuck? So then he's like, I'm walking out the store. Then she immediately just went from masking to, where you going? Where you going? He's like, listen, I'm here talking to the man. Don't be acting like that, all crazy. Like, just sit there and chill out. Why are you acting like that?
Right.
And then he said another situation happened between him and her. And he's like, listen, if you're gonna talk, and if you can't back it up by fighting the man, then shut the fuck up and don't say nothing.
That's it.
Don't open your mouth.
That's right.
Because you open your mouth, it's gonna cause something to happen. And then when it happens, if you can't back it up, now I'm getting in trouble because of you. There was another story where some Edomites, they was in a movie theater watching a movie, and you had Dominicans in the front of them, and they was behind them. And you had Edomite women, and they was kind of loud and things like that, right? The Dominicans. And then one of the Edomite women was like, oh my God, can you shut the fuck up? And then they,
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
and the man was like, oh, fuck. They said they had to leave. They had to leave because they knew what was going to happen.
Yep. She done got him messed up. And then speaking on that, since we get into the, sometimes you got to bring out the stories to get the point across. I saw another one where there was this woman. Now, from the clip, you can only tell so much. So I was reading through the comments a bit, but basically in the clip, you got this dude. I guess he was recording him, like, I guess maybe catcalling chicks or whatever the case is. So the clip starts off where the chick walks up to him, she had a body or whatever the case is, right? So she walks up to him, and she played the reverse card on him, right? She comes up to him, she's like, so what's up? You want to do something? You want to do it right now? Let's do it right now. She put her purse down. She's like, what's up? You want to do it right now? Let's go. She freaking touching him and shit, grabbing his private parts and shit, talking about because she was like fed up about being catcalled or whatever. So and he's a little thrown off because he's like, yo, bitches don't, women don't act like that. So, he's like, oh, whoa, hold on. Yes, I do, but hold on, whoa. So he's backing up, whoa. And then she's like, so if you want to do it right now, then step the fuck off. And then she grabs her purse and she walks away. Cool. Now, I was I was reading the comments. Jake is mad at, man. Dude gonna talk about my pants would have been off so fast. Like, yes, I'm ready. That's Jake. But there was this back and forth argument where you had these women on there. One Jake said, oh, I can see why he stepped back, because in this society, if a woman just steps to you like that, that's kind of unusual. So you like, she trying to set me up or something, like that's weird.
Right, it's not normal female activity to be like that.
There you go. Exactly.
That's
You
not,
like, yo, let's get
that's
it. That's
not feminine.
Yeah. So it's like if you just saw a briefcase open full of $1 million on the floor like that.
You
gonna be a little cautious before anything. Yeah.
That's why you always do that. They're always like,
Looking around is exactly. So that's like the equivalent of that. So that's what he was trying to say. These women jump on there. You know, they're feminists. Jump their ass on there. Oh, you know what I'm saying? This is why, yada, yada, yada. And I'm glad she did that. She played a reverse on them. Now y'all talking about this, that, and the third. And she's talking about, oh, you know, because I got harassed before, and I always tell women to carry. You know, if you're in a state that you can carry. Like trying to push this energy. But deep down inside, she knows damn well that in a real life scenario, she wouldn't be able to do anything. But she's talking so hot, you know, and I'm reading it and I'm like, yeah, it's social media. It's the social media is what's giving them that false sense of pride and energy and you know, to talk all that ish that they're talking, you know, because in reality, say the dude was standing right there and she was, you know, right there, she'd have to change that energy up.
Right, like the dude that you mentioned that punched the Edomite woman in her face on the bus.
That's right.
But when it's phone, it's like I could just say whatever,
exactly.
and you can't find me. You don't know who I am, and I could just have any random picture. So it's like, and you just arguing and bullshit, just like what people do on our videos. They just write a whole bunch of stupid comments and it's like, But when you actually meet the person in real life, then it's different. Then that's when persons get quiet and be like, they want to cop the play. I don't know what you're talking about, bro, man. Like, just chill out.
Yep. I got a quick precept for you. Get back in your list. This is the book of where we at? Because as we're speaking on this judgment, see, the Lord is seeing it all, and He's going to look, man. The Lord is going to bring judgment upon this whole, and Lord willing, this summer is looking like it, because they're talking about it's looking like a hellish summer, you know. And you know, it's harder for women to survive in hard times than men, you know, when it comes to like certain physical troubles, you know, being able to just bear those things. Now this is the book of Micah, chapter 7, verse 10. It says, "Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said to me, where is the Lord thy God? Mine eyes shall behold her." So we're going to be able to witness a lot of things that's going to happen to these women. "Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets." And that's what's going to happen. When you step, you know, mire is so low that you don't even want it under the bottom of your shoes. And that's how the Lord said He's going to bring these women down. They're going to be trodden down, stepped all over, used, abused, harassed, with nobody to help. Because why do men go through the troubles they go through? At the end of the day, there's an end goal, is there not? Dude deals with a chick, there's an end goal in mind. So he'll go through all the movies and the texting and dealing with her BS and laughing at the corny jokes and all of that shit just to get to the end goal. When all hell breaks loose, when he finds out, oh shit, this is express shipping, I don't gotta go through all that, I can just take it, you know, and then that's it. I don't gotta see, because you got some men, they might get a chick, right? She bad, but I don't really like her, you know. I can't really vibe with her, but I like what she got. So he's putting up with her shit because, you know, he's in her shit. But in that time when he's like, well, I could be in her shit without having to put up with her shit, and just you step to the side somewhere. How do you think these men are gonna be treating these women? Because she's afraid. She's like, look, I need you because it's dangerous out there. I need you to protect me. He's like, well, I don't really care too much about you. I just care about what you can give me.
And that's what a lot of women got with. They just got with the guy that just wanted to just hit it and quit it.
Exactly. So when he's done, he's like, I'm out. I don't care what happens to you. But she's gonna stay with him and get mistreated because she's like, I need some protection. Where else am I gonna go? So the tables are gonna flip. And a lot of women have screwed over a lot of men falsely. That's the thing.
That's what
falsely.
That Me Too thing. That's what's created. So yeah, some of them are true, but not all of them.
Yeah.
Because women, like Amber Heard said, tell the world, Johnny, tell the world that you're a victim of domestic abuse. And he's like, I will. Because women know, the reason why she said, because women know that nobody believes a man in the court because they favor the woman.
Right.
They know they can get away with things in the court. You have a precept?
Yeah.
But when did you ever hear about that in the ancient world? Domestic abuse, meaning a woman abusing a man. What? What? In the ancient world? Shit, crazy as hell. A woman put her hand on a man. That's a whole issue right there.
After you get the precept. Did you read the 9th verse? Was it 9?
Micah?
Yeah.
7.
Was it What precept?
I read 7 and 10. Then she does my
yeah,
ending.
read 9 first.
Okay.
Get this precept first.
This is the brother Chayal Awar. Chayal Awar. Isaiah 32 and 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall be troubled. Ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail. The gathering shall not come.
Yeah, and that's going in the ancient world. That was like during the harvest time, and this time that's the benefits and the things that they get, the gathering, you know, the harvest, the things that they depend on. And a lot of these women are reverting to what? OnlyFans, as if that's a good thing. I'm making money on OnlyFans.
You're just exposing yourself. You're just making yourself an easy target.
Yeah.
Because like I said before, men know how to find women on these OnlyFans, like your Instagram and things like that. They can search you and find out where you live.
Yep.
And some of them, they're gonna be like that one episode of the Boondocks I did see, because my friend showed it to me, where the guy Felice Johnson was a parody, where he's gonna be in your house.
Yep.
Just sitting there, waiting.
Yep.
He gonna be like, now, I've seen you all the time. Now, whatever your nickname may be, Brittany or son, now your name is Brittany, but I call you beautiful.
Pink sugar.
Yeah, Pink Sugar. Now, I likes you and I want you. Now, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. And you may start acting up like, get the hell out of my house. Oh, I see you choosing the hard way.
That's it.
You know, I'm a warrior. That's how they gonna be. They gonna come up in your house on that type of time.
Yeah.
That's the spirit, and that's beautiful that brother brought up the precept, because we spent like about maybe 20 minutes talking on women, because this is what's coming for you women. That's why the brother brought that precept. The spirit had the brother bring up that precept. Rise up, ye women that are at ease.
Right.
Because you're at ease here. Because why? Esau has made it easy for you to be wicked and just live
Get away with it.
a life where, like the scriptures say, she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth.
That's right.
So this is why you think you can get away with things, you can talk to men how you want. We spent like 20 minutes talking upon women, and we could go even for longer, but the thing about it is, the reason why is because you women are really gonna get jacked up. Men are gonna get jacked up, don't get it twisted, but you women are gonna go through real horror. You see, when chaos happens, like, I'll use the example of my mother. The other day, my mother got a little sick. She started acting all like, I'm like, yo, calm your ass down. Like, just, I had to be, and that's what the man is for. The man is for, like it says, to be the hiding place, a covert from the storm and tempest. Because I had to calm it down, like, yo, chill out, relax. She wanted me to follow her to the neighbor's house because she had to check her sugar. But the minute something happens, they start getting all panic. And it's like, yo, but before that, they're like a fucking lion. Roar! You talk to a man, you can't tell them nothing.
Yeah.
But let a little tribulation happen. Let me talk to you. What are we supposed to do? Why are you coming to me? Was you like a lion before?
Right. Yep.
That's how you know when trouble happens, they're gonna automatically go back to their feminine nature.
Yeah. Because that's one thing that you can't beat. That's nature. So at the end of the day, no matter how hard you try to, like Esau, no matter how hard he tries to hide it, his, like the scripture said, like for as iron rusteth, so wickedness is gonna come out. So that's the same thing with these women. No matter how much they try to change it, when all hell breaks loose, it's gonna trigger their innate nature, which is to humble down and to be afraid.
I believe nature means natural, and that's how the Most High made them to be.
There you go. And it's gonna come out.
You can't hide what the Lord made you to be. It's in your spirit. So you can sit there and act all masculine and all this, but when the tribulation comes, when fear comes upon you, you're gonna act like that.
There you go. There you go. Yep. Because they ain't met Felice Johnson yet. Take your time.
Yeah, you gonna sit there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna get the gun for you." Yeah, he's gonna say that. Take your time, don't worry.
See, I know where you live.
Yeah, some of them really do.
Yeah, but you're right. Yo, there's a Netflix show called You. I don't know if brother's seen that.
I never watched it, but I kind of
yeah,
get the
check it
gist
out.
of it. That crazy dude, he's like stalking the chick.
Yeah, he's like he's very witty, right? And cunning. You know, put it like that. So he's able to maneuver his way out of various situations, but what he's able to do is supplant himself into others' lives. You know,
is he like a Dexter? If you ever watched that
yeah,
show?
he's kind of like that. Yeah. You know, and when you go into it, man, yo, I mean, when he put that hat on, he puts the freaking his little coat or whatever on. This guy is like he's like Mystique from X-Men, but he don't be doing all that skin changing and shit. But it's crazy how we're watching it from his perspective, so we know all the shit he's doing. But his victims literally just think like, oh, this is the guy I met at the library. Yeah, okay, this dude done moved across the state because you moved across the state. And he's been living there for 15 years watching. You know what I'm saying? Monitoring everything you do. And now he said now's the good opportunity to introduce myself as if I'm just some stranger. So you got men who they analyze what path do you take home. What are all the different paths you take home? You know what I'm saying? What's the path you take most frequently? There was a video not long ago about a woman who the dude chased her and he tried to get into her apartment and literally like seconds away.
I seen you post that.
Yeah. So the dude followed her in there, right? Now, excuse me, I want to know why she didn't turn around. See, if you a dude and a dude is following you, yo, what's up? You know, you're gonna turn around and it's gonna get confrontational. So why she didn't turn around and let out her raw? You know, why she grab him up? You know what I'm saying? Show him how it's really done. But oh yeah, you said you wanted Micah 7:9, right?
Yeah.
All right, this is the book of Micah chapter 7 verse 9. It says, I will bear the indignation of the Lord Yahweh because I have sinned against him.
Right, and that's the chastisement that the Lord puts upon us. I always remember this precept because Apostle Gabar always quotes this precept a lot. We got to bear the indignation of the Lord, even dealing with how our women treat us. And sometimes you don't even have to like yell back at the women. Sometimes you just be like, you got it. Because you got to understand, this is not only Esau's world, but this is also Eve's world as well. Esau has lifted up the woman. He's put her on a pedestal to where she thinks she's above you. She thinks she's better than you. Scriptures talk about she has the daughters of Zion have a haughty look. That's the bar and Elks of Zion will always bring it out. I think it's what was the definition of it? Arrogantly superior.
Right.
So she thinks she's like superior to you, but not just superior, arrogantly to where she's like on a fucking mountain and she's just looking down at you like you're an ant and I'm just over you.
Like if a mouse try to talk shit to a lion, that look that it's gonna give him, like that's what they do. You say something and they'll be like, what's this thing talk, like that type of shit, like as if like who are you to even open your mouth to talk? Oh, you know, you grab this, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Right, so we have to bear the indignation of the Lord. So that's the chastisement that the Lord puts upon us. But also we have to bear the indignation of our people, because 2/3 of our people are wicked, man. They're hard-headed. They don't want to listen. And we have to deal with this, man. We have to deal with women being like this. Women who have a masculine energy. I remember when before I came in the truth, you know, the Lord woke me up to like those MGTOW things. And one guy I was listening to, I don't know if he still has a channel up, his channel was Mr. Limba, I think it was. And he said he doesn't deal with women who have masculine energy because basically he says that if I deal with the woman that has masculine energy, I'm pretty much man on man.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm dealing with another man.
Right.
How can I deal with a woman that has masculine energy?
Right.
And you have women that, I seen a post on Instagram where women said, I'm going to show a man my masculine energy, and then when I feel comfortable with him, then I'm going to show him my feminine energy.
Wow.
That's literally, you know what that is? The spirit had me say, that's freaking, what you call Baphomet.
I was just thinking that, yeah. The androgynous spirit. That's what it is.
What, it has the male body, but also has the
breast and shit, yeah.
That's what when women try to have that masculine and feminine energy, that's Baphomet. And then they put that also on the men, where if you ever watch those, I don't really watch TV, but I see the commercials sometimes with the Old Spice commercial. That dude with that Jake with the I guess a goatee or whatever. And sometimes Nia Long is like the therapist, and she's asking, how do you feel that she took away the Old Spice? He's crying, acting all feminine.
Right.
That's trying to make a man go from have not only masculine qualities, but also feminine qualities.
Yeah, that's heavy that you mentioned that.
So it's not just them trying to, do surgery on the body and things like that. It's also them, if they can't get you to do that, then what? They're going to get you to act like that. Get that guy, Billy Porter, I think his name is, where he's a man, but he wears dresses.
Yeah, all that shit. But they try to make that seem like it's a manly thing to be able to not care what anybody says and put on a dress. No, nigga, that's bug the hell out, and you stay away from us, man, because that's some wild shit. The Most High says in the law you ain't supposed to do that. There you go. So it's a wicked thing to do that. It's not no manly thing. There was a video because a lot of this shit comes out through TikTok. And this woman was saying, she was saying how, I'm gonna see how my man reacts when I manhandle him. And she's grabbing him up, pushing him against the wall and shit. turning him, trying to throw him on the bed and shit. And this nigga, he comes out, he's like, yo, what you doing? Then she tells you, hey, stop, what are you doing? Literally, that's his voice. Then she throws this nigga on the bed and he got his legs up in the air and she tells him, oh, stop. Literally, that's what he was doing, man. And I'm looking at this guy like, bro, she's literally like right here to you in terms of height-wise. And you're jumping on the bed. If somebody was walking past your door, they'll think two women are playing with themselves inside that room. What's that about?
But some of those you gotta know that some of those are fake.
Yeah,
Some
they're
of those
set up that way.
People do
Yeah.
that just to get TikTok
Yeah.
famous or whatever. But still, that's wicked because you're promoting
That energy.
that wicked energy that's gonna make other people do it and do these things. And then what? It's gonna multiply. It's gonna propagate. And then what? You're gonna have a whole bunch of people doing this thing, thinking that that's a normal thing to do, and it's not normal according to the scriptures.
Right.
And that's what we're getting into. That's why this place has to be cleansed. That's why this place has to be destroyed. Because this place just promotes wickedness, man. And it's just going to keep multiplying and multiplying. And if the Lord doesn't destroy us, it's going to destroy the minds of all the people. Till, like the scriptures say, if the Lord didn't come, there shall no flesh be saved.
That's right.
Because the minds of the people is just gone because Esau keeps promoting wickedness upon the earth.
I think we're at the point where the only thing that's left is that destruction because the people are already gone, man. There ain't no turning back at this point. That's why the scripture says the whole head is sick, especially when you look at Israelites. You know, you look at Jake, you know, the kind of shit that they do, when you read the scriptures, you be like, damn, like if there were no scriptures, we'd be looking at these people and wondering, what kind of creatures are these? You know, that's why the prophets of old, every time they saw the future, some of them were crying, some of them were asking the Lord, like, Lord, what exactly do we do to get this type of shit?
Ezekiel 37, the dry bones.
The dry bones, exactly. You know, but through the spirit and power of
Can
Yahweh,
these bones live?
Can these bones live? You know, can they live? It's amazing to see what has become of Jake, man. All right, and we're the only ones that's left, the remnant. All right, who are bringing back that common sense and that knowledge of the scriptures and the knowledge of who we are as a nation and who our power is. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and that's really what's causing the stir around the whole entire world, man. Okay, look what's going on in terms of prophecy. How did all these things happen? We've had the churches, they've been there for years. Ain't no prophecy was taken off like this until the Israelites came on the scene, until the prophets came on the scene to give the last warning before the Lord takes this place out. All right?
I got some precepts. Just to back it up.
Just want to quickly say, yeah, whatever. Matter of fact, you can bring up this
He'll come back. When it comes back.
Now,
Oh, me. This is Ecclesiastes 7 and 11. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. For wisdom is defense, and money is defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it.
There you go. You give life to them that have it. So what are we pushing for? We're pushing for life. And how is that? Because there are certain practices that are destructive that lead to death, and there are certain practices that lead to life. All right. So the wisdom of the Lord will lead to life. It'll have you engage in practices that promote life.
That's the spirit. I got a follow-up precept.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs 9 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding.
There you go. And there's a scripture that says, this is the word of the Lord, is life or is light. All they that leave it, or such as leave it shall die. So that's what. So if you leave that wisdom, if you don't have that wisdom, you're gonna die because you're gonna engage in injurious practices. When you do things contrary to the wisdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, what do you think the judgments are written for? They're written to let you know when you do this, this is what's gonna happen to you. Those are injurious practices. Those are ways of death.
Oh, the man that wandered under the way
Of understanding shall be in the congregation of the dead. That's right.
but then eventually he's gonna get that. He's spiritually dead, but then eventually he's gonna physically
Physically,
die.
yeah. That's right.
And that's to those who don't take heed to the warning. All right, because it's a different story when you're ignorant to your mistakes. You know, at one point we were all in the same boat.
Yep.
That is why Yahushua is of such importance, because it's through him that we gain that glory and that mercy. You know, because without him, we'll all be dead. we should all be put to death. You know, but because of the grace of Yahushua, we get that salvation. We get that deliverance, man. That's the first and foremost thing, understanding who you are. Okay? leaving off of those injurious practices and doing things that's pertaining to life. You know, so
There's a scripture that says here that Psalm 130:3, it says, "If thou, Lord Yahweh, shouldest mark iniquities, O Lord, who shall stand?"
see? So who shall stand? Because the Most High is perfect. You know, he's perfect. Even when Yahushua was on the cross, the Lord could even look at him because he had carried on all the sins of Israel upon himself. So the Most High just had to turn his head so he couldn't look at all the iniquities that was on Yahushua, man. You know? But it's through Yahushua, because all those sins, guess what? He was able to overcome them. Because what? All those sins that he took off, all right, from the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, all right, it caused him to be put to death, including the sins that he did when he was Solomon. Okay? So when he went into the grave, all right, the Lord brought him back to life. He came back to life, man. He defeated death.
He was
Okay?
perfect.
Because he was perfect.
Death could not, I think how it's said, could not hold in him.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So he was too powerful, so death had to spew him back up. Like we can't contain this man. He gotta go.
Because what are the wages of sin? Death.
That's it.
So that means the scriptures say through sin, death came into the world.
Right.
So if he was without sin, then he can't die. You know, death couldn't have power over him anymore. So that's why when he was made perfect, all right, he couldn't, you know, because as a matter of fact, he was without sin. So if he was without sin, how come he died? That shows you that's why he had to be spewed back up, because that death wasn't according to it wasn't according to his actions, but more so because he was a sacrifice.
I think it says in 1 Corinthians that sin doesn't have power over the flesh anymore. Oh, let me see if I can find it.
Yep.
A quick reset. This is the brother Hoyo. This is Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
Yeah, that's the one I was quoting earlier. That's right. There you go. Yep. So that's why it's important to take heed to these words, because these are actual words of life. You know, they promote. Wait, we've gone through the laws and stuff, and you can see how if everybody was to, you know, and deal with these laws, adhere to it, you would have a nice,
Perfect
calm,
society.
yeah,
A perfect society.
because it
It's not-
accounts for everything.
Everything, man. And that's why, hey, what's that? Psalms 147 and 19. You know, and that's why these nations are fiending to be us.
Right.
Why do you think they're spending billions of dollars to keep us from who we are, and trying to take away our inheritance, man? Take it onto themselves, cleave onto our inheritance. It doesn't happen like that, man. You know, you give us all the worst shit, and then you try to take the best. But guess what? You don't even do it the right way. You see, you talking about you call yourself Jewish and all these different things. Guess what? The true Israelites are back, and they're taking over the whole entire world, man. You know, we're taking over the whole world because the true heirs have been recognized. You know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has finally said, you know what? It's time for you to rise.
Oh, the
Ezekiel
earnest-
37.
The earnest expectation of the creature, waited for the manifestation of the sons of.
Yep. So all the creatures, man, the animals, you know, I was out this morning, all right, and out with the family, all right, and you know, we went out with the dog, you know, and throughout the whole entire time, somebody else was holding the dog, you know, and I was just walking by myself or whatever. When we got in the car, the dog literally, out of everyone in the car, the dog decided, nah, I'm gonna stay right next to this brother over here, you know, and it laid on me. I'm not the owner of the dog, but the dog felt that energy, like, nah, I'd much rather be around somebody like you. You know, all these people don't understand how to treat nature. They don't understand how to treat people. They don't understand how to treat the animals. You know, but these are all things that's written in the scriptures. You know, we're going over the law about the land Sabbath and so on and so forth.
Right.
The sacrifices. That's only pertaining to Israelites, man. So we're the only ones who are going to automatically know how to do these things, man. You know, but.
You got a precept?
Yeah, this is just that precept to back you up. It was 1 Corinthians
Oh, yeah.
chapter 15, verse 55. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law.
Now, the sting of death is sin, meaning that the weapon, death's weapon, is sin. That's how it gets you. When you got like a scorpion, for example, you got his tail that's up here, right? So the danger in a scorpion is its tail. The danger in a bee is that stinger, right? So that's how it gets you. So once that sting touches you, you've been got. So just like with death, once that sin gets your ass, death got you. because the scriptures say the wages of sin is death. And you may say, well, I may have done something that's not worthy of death, but then James says, if you break one, you break all. So there you go. So there's more on that.
Verse 57. But thanks be to Yahweh, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach.
So we've been given the victory. All right, we've been given the victory from the Most High through Yahweh Shai. If it's not through Yahweh Shai, there is no victory. So for those who try to push him out the picture, then you can't receive the victory.
You've been defeated.
Exactly.
But Satan doesn't have power over Yahushua.
All right.
But Satan has pretty much had power over death.
All right.
So if you say there's no Yahushua, then Satan got power over you, man. You see, Satan doesn't have power over us because Yahushua is always constantly praying for us, man. You know, he said it. He said what? That he's constantly making an intercession on our behalf unto the Heavenly Father. You know, so he's constantly praying for us and trying to keep us, all right, in a good gracious and a good spirit. Okay? For those who say, oh, nah, we don't need Yahushua, you're going to taste of that death because you're basically saying, to hell with our king. To hell with your king. You can't curse the king, nigga. What's wrong with you? There's a in the law it says it.
Laws, yeah. Hey, even the judges, right? Not to revile the judges.
Exactly. You know, and Yahushua is the top judge of all.
Yep.
You know, you can't revile against him, whether you like it or not, man. Look what he's going to do to these other nations, these heathens. How much more you Israelites who go off?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about to be a whole hell of a lot of pain that's coming very soon, man. And we've been saying it because we have to say it.
Yep.
If we don't give you the warning, how are you gonna know what to be preparing for?
Right.
You see, that's what what we're doing is a warning of the coming calamities that's coming to this place, man. And guess what? Those who don't listen, the World Economic Forum got cyanized for you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and when you hear the tune in which they're speaking, they're not playing. I mean, when somebody's talking to you and they start off with, "Let me make myself clear," it's over for you.
Yo, do you see them Carl Schwab
With the black,
all black left-hand priest garments? Come on.
You know, he's saying, "Look, let me make myself clear." All right, whatever we're about to do, if you stand in our way, we're gonna take you out.
Seek them out where they are
and destroy them in their houses, in their home, whatever. We're gonna come after you, man. So the fire that the Lord is about to put on this earth, man.
Oh, but the way they do it is they gotta say, look, we're gonna help you, right? Get along. Nobody left behind, right? So if you left behind, then we're gonna help you onto the boat.
Right.
That's pretty much what how they put it.
Right. And if you don't want to be helped, we're gonna force you.
That's it.
We're gonna force the help upon you, man. He said it. He said we're gonna impose it upon the people. I said impose. That's like, okay, we're coming down on you whether you like it or not. Revelation 12 and 12. That's that imposing of their will, which is that great wrath. You know, all these so-called gun laws that they're trying to push, it's not no gun laws to try to help the community. How many laws do they have that's not stopping no gun no gun shooting and all that stuff, man? You know, if the laws actually worked, then people wouldn't be doing mass shootings, man. It doesn't work. So having stricter gun laws is not going to change criminals from being criminals. You know, you got to attack the criminals, not the weapons that they're using.
That's like saying that I hate sin, but not the sinner.
Right.
But if you don't stop the sinners, sin is going to keep
It's
going
gonna
on.
keep going. You see? So
they have a corrupt mind.
they have a corrupt mind, exactly, and they have a corrupt agenda. You know, that's all it is, man. You know,
And that's what we were going into earlier about how this world needs to be cleansed. And that's why we need to be cleansed from this world. That's why we need to take heed to the word. Because this world will pollute you and destroy you. And it will get you destroyed.
Michael what? No, we did.
Yeah, I have the
just mentioned. It's the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart." All right, and that "arise ye" is a command. Okay, arise meaning what? You're in a docile state. Wake up. Arise ye and what? And depart meaning what? Depart spiritually and mentally, man. All right, and ultimately, once you're able to depart physically, once you're able to depart mentally. Once you're able to depart mentally and spiritually, physically, you're going to depart, man. Because now your mind is elevated. So even though you're among the people, you don't think like the people, man. But thinking like the people is what the Lord is telling you through the prophet Micah to arise out of that. Because these people are going to stay sleeping regardless. All right, this is a city known as what? Insomniapolis, the sleeping city.
Yep.
Okay, so Americans are not going to wake up no matter what happens, man. They're going to stay docile, and they show you that in the movie Dinner with Andre. And it just popped up again because the brother Yashalom from GMS Watchman, he actually did a small little clip on it. All right. And I was like, damn, I remember watching this years ago, way before I got into truth, watching it, and now it all makes sense.
Right.
It all makes sense because everything they were saying in those movies, you're actually seeing it play out.
Right.
So when you watch these movies over again, you're like, oh, that's all it makes. Oh, this the precept said this. Oh, I see it now.
Right.
It's all making sense. Why? Because we're at the end. All right, the prophecy is set for an appointed time, and when it comes, it will not tarry.
Right.
And we're here.
That's right.
You know? So the Lord is saying through the prophet Micah, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. A lot of you jakes think that this is your rest, man. You think this is a place where you're about to grow and become harmonious. That's never gonna happen. All right, the Lord has different plans for Israelites and the rest of the heathens. So anything that goes against that plan will be null and void. It will be destroyed with the fire that's coming.
Yeah.
All right?
It's like when you go somewhere and then your parents tell you, nah, don't get comfortable because we're not staying. Long.
Right,
We're gonna
right,
be leaving
right,
soon."
right.
So you like, I can't change. I
Right,
can't
you're
get my
not going to
shoes
take
off
everything
and-
out your bag. You
Yeah.
just leave your bag there. Maybe the little things that you need for that day, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the point of this. This was a punishment and a captivity, not a vacation. You know what I'm saying? Jake B wants to live that vacation life in prison. What's wrong with you niggas, man?
Well, they
You know?
moved into the prison.
Yeah, exactly. They became the prisoners and the prison guards.
That's
These
it.
niggas don't want to leave.
That's it.
Niggas are sick.
This is Ezekiel 11 and 2. Then said he unto me, Son of man, these are the men that devise mischief and give wicked counsel in this city, which say the end is not near, let us build houses. The city is the cardon and we be the flesh. And if you know about the cardon is the pot and the flesh is the meat. And one thing about briskets or like pastrami brisket, because we had a pastrami brisket on one of the holy days. And one thing about them briskets in a pot, one of them boiling, grandma pots, even though brothers put theirs in a crock pot, but I put that bitch on like, hey, 16 hours. And we could have still cooked it some more. Brothers did sit downs, laugh, played video games, fell asleep, and that shit was still cooking. Cause with them briskets, that shit could just like, not like on a grill or like baking it, but when you put it like in a pot with water, you could cook that shit forever. And that's what
overnight.
Yeah, you could cook that shit probably for like 2 days. And that old Big L track, he said, I cooked the mic like a beef steak because my technique's great, that old Big L joint. But because them types of meat, you could just cook forever. And the Lord, but to get the point is, the Lord comparing Israel's spirit in America to that. Israel's spirit is, America is the pot and Israel is the flesh, and they just sitting and marinating and marinating and marinating for hours in that pot,
Right.
Wickedness.
and wickedness until they get accustomed and adapt to it to where wickedness is just like it's nothing, it's just normal. Yeah.
Hey, that's why America is known as the melting pot. That's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Like they brought Jake over here to melt. Hey, look, America wasn't created for everybody in the world, man. All right, it was created for Jake's captivity, and then ultimately the Lord set it up so He could destroy it, man. All right, it's just these other nations just partook in the downfall of Jake. That's all it is. All these other heathens that come over here and make a profit and go back to their land. Who do you think they're doing that off of, man? They're doing it off the backs of Jake's. Because Jake is not allowed to have no type of prosperity in this land. The Lord set it up that way. Why do you think all these other nations, again, these laws that's helping them out, but whenever Jake raises up their voice and say, hey, how about us? Where are our rights? Where are our liberties? Where are this and this and that? These are you paying out the so-called this people, the Chinese people got a bill, and these people got a bill, and that people got a bill. What about us?
No reparations.
No reparations
40 acres and a mule.
and a mule. You ain't getting all that. You gonna look, if the Lord said, you know what, I'm gonna keep you out here for another 100 years, most high forbid. But if that was the case, you Jakes are still gonna be at the bottom for the next 100 years. It doesn't matter what you do. You know why? Because this was not a place that you're going to prosper in, man. This was a place that the Lord said in Revelation, the 12th chapter, a place prepared for her. All right, that you're gonna be there for a little season, and that season is up. So once that season is up, guess what? Everything changes. Like I always say, the whole world is subject to prophecy. So in the time of prophecy, whatever the vibration of that prophecy is, everybody feels that shit. So you can sit there and say, oh, man, famine. No. Guess what? When the famine prophecy hits, everybody gonna feel that.
But
When
they're starting to see they're starting to slowly feel it now.
they feel, yeah.
You know, and you know that's spiritual because if you look at like America, for example, this land that we're on, the Lord really set it up for the land of our captivity.
Right.
He isolated it because when the land was created, you know, and the flood happened and everything split up, that land was there.
Right.
And he didn't open it up really until he let the northern kingdom come here, and then he had Esau come here, and then he brought us here. Now, if you look at the history of this land, it's really been Gad, the northern kingdom living here, but then after that, it's just been us being here in captivity.
Right.
And then after that, this land gets destroyed, and nobody's ever going to be here
Right,
again.
right. It's
It's
nothing
just going to
else.
go back to
Yeah.
that. So it shows you that the Lord really set up this land for this time, and then that's it.
Said, this is one of the curses, Deuteronomy 28:29. Thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. Thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. Thou shalt be only oppressed and spoil you evermore, and no man shall save you.
Right. No man's gonna save you. No president gonna make a bill that's gonna change your life. No mayor is gonna stand in the way and fight for you. Because guess what? If they try, they're gonna be put to death. Look what JFK was trying to do. And what did they do? They made an example out of his ass, man. You know what I'm saying? I believe JFK might have been a Jake. I believe that through the spirit. You know what I'm saying? But he was one of them Jakes that looked like an Edomite that slipped through the cracks, and he finally got caught.
Could have been,
You know, could have been. You know, because of his conscience. You know, he said, look, there's a system in here. And he said when God comes back, all the things that you've done to these so-called Negroes, when God comes back and you find out that God is actually a Negro, what the fuck are we going to say to the Most High, man? You know? I'm like, damn, that's
That was against vaccines.
Right.
JFK was wilding.
Yeah.
I'm like, check out all the shit he was trying to do.
There's the V's.
Yeah, he was
V's
on
out.
some shit. He was on some shit. He was like, man, he was on some Nat Turner shit, basically.
Yeah.
Just as from a presidential stance.
Right.
He
Yeah.
had made a speech saying that these people are dealing with secrets and you gotta expose them. And soon after that, they assassinated him.
But all of Kennedy's RFK, they took a lot of them out, you know.
He knew that the moon landing was going to be fake. A lot of things that they did, and when you check out the word, Fitzgerald comes from like an Irish descendant. So he probably was Jake.
Yeah. That's why it wasn't just him. Like you said, they took out his family and stuff. Yeah. So Esau knows, man. But the Lord does that. He puts situations like that, you know, in place because guess what? They show you this in like certain movies and like shows where it's called the butterfly effect, where if somebody travels back in time and they change something as little as even to harm a butterfly, that could change the whole course of history. And you might say, well, how is like, if I hit this butterfly, how is that going to change history? Well, you never know if that butterfly might have flew into somebody's car, messed them up, they got into an accident, that might have, you know, killed a certain baby who was going to grow up, you know, to become, you know, the Lord got this,
Possibilities are endless.
and you don't see it.
Like Final Destination.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was think what you call Flashpoint with the Flash.
Yeah.
He goes back in time.
Save his mom,
changes
right?
everything else.
Yep. So I forgot how it started, but oh yeah. So these events have to happen, whether little or great. That's why the Lord said, "Be not ignorant of any matter small or great." When Yahushua went into the synagogue and read the scripture and said, "This day has this prophecy been fulfilled," that was a fulfillment of prophecy. Now it wasn't on like such a large scale as like, you know, the destruction of this place. But it was still necessary for that to happen because the Lord said all his words are going to come to pass.
He said,
Not a jot or a
there
tittle.
you go. Everything will be fulfilled.
Mhm.
Everything.
And even society itself gonna regroup to some degree for these people to fall back to sleep. You know, because the prophecy got to be fulfilled. The day of the Lord shall come like a thief in the night. So Jacob's trouble, this extrapolating through the lines, Jacob's trouble is gonna go down. But then these people gonna get their chips. They're gonna think life is going back to normal and shit, and that's when the Lord gonna surprise them, because they're gonna be in a state of things is going back to normal. Things is going back, and that's when the Lord gonna pop up on their ass.
Hey, that's
Because
second-
during Jacob's trouble and hell, people, oh Jesus, they looking for the Lord. So that's how you know society going, not all the way, because they knew world order is not going to be fulfilled.
Right.
But you know, society is going to look to the eyes of the non-believers. Society going to look like it's coming back. People getting their jobs and all that shit back. Then the Lord going to just pop up.
If I may say, that's mainly our people, because we got hope and thinking that things will get better, but in order for it to get better, it gotta get worse.
Right.
Because these heathens, they know it ain't gonna get better. Elon Musk, he was like,
Oh, yeah,
yo,
yeah, yeah.
he said it in one of his podcast interviews with, I think, Joe Rogan or something. He was like, yo, Joe Rogan asked him, like, yo, will you see us in 20 years? He was like, if we make it, and the way it's going, we not gonna make it. But if we make it. So the point that I'm bringing out is like these other people, they got contingency plans. They trying to move past this human experience with Neuralink and all that. They know that this place is going to be destroyed, man. Only us think that we on borrowed time and we could live to see tomorrow. But nobody really say Lord willing like how us men of the Lord do.
Hey, it's a parable on the servant that said the Lord delayeth his coming. You know, he went in the world eating and drinking, and the Lord, you know, we ain't got to get it, but y'all, it's on Matthew 24:48 if y'all want to check it out. But he went eating and drinking and having fun. Then he said, what, the Lord came in for day when he expected him not. Because one thing about playing with that world, it blinds you to the prophecies. And when you heavily looking into the prophecies, it blinds you on to shit that's going on into this world. They're like arch enemies. So when you in the world having fun, eating and drinking, that's why Solomon said that. He said, at least I'll be full and denied you. You know what I'm saying? Because once you doing too well or getting, you know, girls, the cars, and you ain't even got to be selling out. You could just be one of them jakes that's doing well. You know what I'm saying? But the more that shit you get, the more it kind of like smothers. And it also go back to what? The seed that fell amongst the thorns. You know, the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches. It choked the word and he become unfruitful. By and by he is offended. They shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So that's all like tying into the what? The same spirit. That's why Yahweh said the deceitfulness of riches. So the more you kind of like play with that world and you getting things, little carnal shit that you want, you traveling, you doing this, that kind of like could smother out your watch as far as the prophecies.
Hey, that's, you know, at times, you know, we say it all the time. It's like when you finally like, it's almost like opening a door to look at what's going on in the world, because you be so out of tune with what's going on in the carnal world, because you're so locked into prophecies and the news and this. You in a whole nother world, you know. Like when you go on YouTube, you watching videos, you reading articles, you reading the scriptures, you're actually in a whole nother world.
Right.
And then you find out, then it's like there's noise that Amber Heard and Roe v. Wade. You're like, what's going on there? Let me go check it out and see. Oh, this the bullshit? Oh, it's crazy. You're gonna come back in. But if you in the world, it's like that. Like people who are in the world, occasionally they'll pop up to try and look on YouTube to see what's going on, what are the prophets talking about. It's like they opening the door to step in here to see what's going on.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. When
Nice example.
it's heavy. Yeah, that's a beautiful one. That's heavy because, and I'm gonna steal that right quick and jump off of that, because I remember before we got into truth, when you go on YouTube, you don't see any truth videos at all. They're there. They've been there for years, but you don't see them. When you come into the truth, all you see is truth videos, right? And then when you compare it to somebody else's YouTube, they don't see no truth videos. And then when they wake up to the truth, then they see all the truth. It's like, how is it this like, we're both on YouTube, but two different worlds on the same platform?
It's like a Narnia. And they got the closet, they go
And then
into
you open it,
a whole
it's a
other
different world.
world.
Exactly. You know, so it's like knowing the truth. You're in a small world, but a big world. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a special thing. I was thinking about it the other day. It's heavy that you mentioned that. I was like, damn, like that's crazy how we're all on YouTube, but we can actually go on YouTube and find out about so many different things. But people don't even know about this one thing that means everything, man. They don't know about the truth. They have no idea how to find it. It will never just randomly pop up unless you actually type it in. You see? And that's not what's that scripture that says subscribe with your hands.
Yeah. One shall
One shall,
subscribe
yeah,
to
exactly.
One shall say, I am Yahweh.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, so that's literally what happens. Once you subscribe, that's when the word of the Lord starts flowing on your YouTube. That live stream, that's the rivers of living water.
That's right.
You know, that the stream. Well, that's what a stream is.
The feed.
The feed, exactly. You know, you publish it, and then it becomes what? Public. And then the people can see it, they can learn, they can watch it, and so on and so forth.
It's like a watchtower, because because this brother might see something that's happening over here while I'm looking over here.
Right.
So when I come on YouTube, he's making this. Oh, this is what's happening here, or this was going on here, or the spirit jumped on this brother to say this. So instead of us having to actually meet each other physically somewhere, we can communicate on that platform, and that's why the Lord has it still there. You know, you wonder, you saying, damn. So they always talking about censoring and this, and they do take down channels and videos, but for the most part, we're still on here. And that's because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has willed it so. You know, at least for a little bit longer.
Hey, so speaking about the word publish, it's Jeremiah 50 and 2. Declare ye amongst the nations and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Murdoch is broken into pieces, her idols are confounded, and her images are broken into pieces. So that's the publishing of the word.
And it says, say. See, so the Lord actually says what message we're supposed to tell you. So if people look at us like we're coming out here and we just deliberately want to just talk bad about things. No, the Lord actually commanded us to talk bad about things. He says, set thy face against and prophesy against them. So that's what we're doing, and literally following the directions of the Lord. But so who do they really have a problem with? It ain't us. You got a problem with the Lord.
Because all we're doing is we're highlighting the evil in the land. That's all we're doing. We're just bringing the evil that you niggas keep doing, that you think nobody's watching. By the Lord sending his prophets out is to show you that he's watching everything you're doing. And he's testifying against you. So he says, you know what? Let me send my prophets out there so they can let them know, hey, these things that you're doing is going to cause to your destruction. Repent, or else I'm going to come down with great wrath. Was that in Exodus where he said, don't let the people come to the don't let them come to the mountain, or else I'm going to break forth upon them.
Oh yeah.
You see, the Most High don't play that shit. When he said something, he even threatened Moses' life, man. He said, look, if you don't talk to these people, I'm gonna break down upon all of you niggas, man. You know.
So it's to me if I preach not the gospel.
You know. Well, you got it.
Oh, I was going to say a little combination because these people say the gospel, especially these Christians. You know, I'm here to teach the gospel, here to teach the good news. But the whole gospel is death and destruction of the nations and the coming of Yahushua. When you really when you get into it, because they look at gospel like good news. But yeah, if it's good news to the Israelites on the whole, because they're going to ultimately make it, but mainly the elect. But everybody else is bad news to the opposing side. Like you'd be like, look, I got good news. I won a fucking $300 in a dice game. You know, not inquiring brothers to play dice, especially with niggas. But that's bad news to somebody else that lost. You know what I'm saying? You know, so good news to somebody else is bad news to somebody else. Oh, the Heat won the series. That's good news. But the bad news is what? That the Celtics lost, the opposing side. Give me Luke 4:17 right quick, and give me Isaiah 65. It's going to tell you what the whole gospel is about.
Right.
You know, because people like, oh, we come to spread the gospel. You're not spreading the gospel if you're not talking about the death and destruction and enslavement of the nations, the rise of the Israelites, us coming back to our nationality. That's what the gospel consists of, and the Yahushua is going to say it. Read that.
Luke 4:17.
65 was that. Yeah.
And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah.
Yeah.
Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor.
Right. So he said what? He quoted what? Isaiah. because he was here to preach the gospel to the poor. Who's the poor? The Israelites.
Right.
So this what he quoted in Isaiah. Read that, 65.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 65, verse 1. I sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not.
This is the same thing Yahweh Shah quoted. Read on.
I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts, a people that provoketh me to anger continually to my face, that sacrificeth in gardens and burneth incense upon altars of brick, which remain among the graves, and lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh and broth of abominable things is in their vessels, which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou.
Was that 65?
65.
Good Titans. I'm looking.
65.
Yeah, it's 65. It's 65. Isaiah 65.
Let me see about the word search. You said good tidings?
Yeah.
Oh, is that Isaiah 60 or 61? Good tidings unto the meek, is it?
I think it's 61. I know it's up in the 60s. Yeah, it's 61. Salak.
Oh, 61 and 1. Okay, I got
Yeah,
it.
because this is what he was quoting in Luke 4:17.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And this tells you what the gospel is. Because people just be like, gospel, good news, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Nah, the gospel is the prophecies, and it's going to tell you.
Yep. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 1. It says, the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh power is upon me, because the Lord Yahweh hath anointed me to preach good tidings
Good
unto the meek.
tidings, and when you go into other translations or you look it up in the blue letter, it tell you tidings means good news.
Right.
Like the same thing, which means what? The gospel.
Right.
Unto the meek. And now he's going to tell you what those things are. Read.
He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives.
Right, to bind up the brokenhearted. This is the gospel. Our people out here that's lost and confused and don't know where to go, this is a light unto their path. To bind up the brokenhearted, to do what?
To proclaim liberty to the captives.
Right, the captives, the people that's enslaved in this system, you know, mentally, physically, and don't have a way out. Through who? We teaching who? Yahweh Shai going to destroy this place in freedom.
That's right.
You know?
It says, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound.
Right. Destroy, because you got physical prisons, but these countries is actually a prison itself. And slavery, in order to go from one plantation to another, you had to get a passport. You had to to go from one plantation to another. Like you going to Candyland or somewhere over there, you had to get a passport to do that. So now these countries are like big plantations. So if you want to go from America to Ghana, you would need a passport, and then you can only stay there for certain long. Then you got to go back to your original master, unless you try to get dual citizenship.
Right.
Because they like, nah, you can't stay here that long. You belong to Brazil. You a slave of Brazil. Your visa has expired. You got to go back to your master over there. You only had like a working visa 3 months or however they do it. You know, so this whole fucking place is this whole system, these countries is a fucking captivity. You know, brothers be in prison. You know, one brother I know from a while back, he got caught up. He called me. The Lord had mercy on him, but he hit me like, yo, I'm bagged or whatever. But I'm like, yo, just deal with this, a light judgment, whatever. But I'm like, yo, you know, sometimes like being actually in jail, even though it's niggas, it's a lower poor condition of living, be more free at times than out here. Cause out here you got all the fucking elements, shit bothering you and bugging you. In jail you kind of like isolated and put away. So sometimes, hey, that old Cameron shit, 18 months, that ain't facing time. I'm stressed anyway. I need it for vacation time, you know? But that's a real niggerish mentality, but that shows you that what? The world could stress you out so much that even when you go to jail, you be like, man, like, I like, you know, shit happening on the street, shit with my kids, beefing with different dudes. So you go to jail and kind of get like an exhale a little bit. You could focus more, you could reflect more, you could think more, and that's fucking sad. It's like that, and that show you how hellish fucking society is, man.
Esau don't gotta put himself through that. He needs a vacation. He just travels out of here. He's not even in America, man.
They don't need a vacation.
They don't need a vacation. Their whole
When
life is a
COVID
vacation.
hit, Manhattan just disappeared.
Yeah,
They
it's
went
that.
to their beach homes
Yep.
and shit like
Long
that.
Island, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got houses that's like worth millions a month, and
That
it's
they
just
don't
empty.
even be in.
Yeah, don't be there. It's just there, empty, just sitting there, looking nice. I'm like, damn, bro, these motherfuckers, man. And then here it is. We got to be bunched up and shit, like this the scripture that says,
Joint house to house.
Joint house,
Uh-huh.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's wicked as all hell.
Yeah.
And then you got the Rothschild open his ugly ass, whole ass mouth talking about, he said, I have 5,500 acres of land. And it surrounds his estate. 5,500 acres of land. That's like the building is here. He got 5,500 across the whole entire fucking estate, man. Damn. For what? So it's like, I mean, you're gonna have to travel 5,500 acres just to get to the fucking land, bro.
He's gonna have 5,500 lashes on my head.
Like, bro.
Because that's what's gonna happen.
Yo,
this nigga.
you know, and he's chilling with that shit. And I
And
just,
here it is. Jake don't got nowhere to stay,
Man.
but he just got the land.
He got the land.
Ain't doing shit on it.
Nah, this is just space. There's just space right here.
Yeah, like,
You know?
you look at the apartments. You're in a small ass crowded apartment, but this man got all this land.
Yeah.
You got to be next to someone and hear someone popping their
Right,
wife or hear
right.
arguments like
Arguments.
me. I hear arguments almost every fucking week. The chick I told you that you can hear her voice from 2 blocks down. But yeah, this man, he live in an area he don't hear.
You don't hear nothing. You don't hear shit.
But
And
then,
guess
if you
what?
think about it, it'd be hard to rob him because you got to go through five
Yeah,
and a half.
yeah.
You know, you stop halfway like, fuck this.
Guess what? And guess what? He doesn't pay a dime. He's
Yeah,
living
that's
on
the
that land for
problem.
free.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
Hey,
he's
because they
charging-
own it. They own it. You know, hey, at the end of the day, guess what? The Most High gave it into their hands.
Sadness of the earth.
You know,
That shows you what is real substance, land, like Job had when he had all that land, the sheep, the camel. That's what real riches is. It's also having land, because that goes into their blessing, the fatness of the earth.
Servants.
Because when you really think about it, not to get off topic from the gospel, but when you really think about it, the land, right? You could do everything with land. Clothes come from land. Your silkworms, all of that, cotton, all of that comes from land. Money, silver, gold, glass, all of that is minerals and metals of the earth. Then you got food, you got cattle. You could build a man-made lake. Once you build your man-made lake, you could throw fish in there. You know what I'm saying? So you could take 100 acres and just make you a lake. I mean, throw all types of fish in there. And one thing with life, once you start it, it just continues. You know what I'm saying? Then, and you just, everything is, once you get somebody, land is just like, yo, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because when you could, from that land, you could just build off of that. You know, you got trees, and trees come what? Wood. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You could build your guest houses, your homes, and all of that. You know, your wooden furnaces. You could build all of that just off of land itself. Finish that.
Hold on, what's that saying? You give a man a bunch of fish,
That's what I was thinking.
he'll eat for one day, but if you teach him how to fish, he's
A lifetime. Yeah.
So continuing back in Isaiah 61, verse 2.
Remember, this is the good tidings that he said, that the good news, the gospel. Read.
Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 2. To proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord Yahweh.
Yeah, see, that's all part of the gospel.
That's right.
To proclaim the coming of Yahweh Shai through the Father, man, and when he comes, and what he's going to do.
Yep.
Not just proclaiming, yeah, Jesus is coming. Now you proclaiming what he's going to do, the judgment that's going to take place, that's written in the scripture. This is all part of the gospel. So when you Christians out there say, oh, we here to spread the gospel, you ain't spreading shit if you ain't talking prophecy. Read on.
That's a fact. Continue, it says, and the day of vengeance of our power.
See, the day of vengeance, shit getting blown up, chariots coming, people getting enslaved, Jacob's trouble, dogs eating people. That's all the gospel.
That's right.
That's all the gospel.
Good news.
The
So,
good, that's the good
You
news.
shall rejoice when you see it, the vengeance.
Yeah.
Roughly prophet.
All them prophecies.
Yep.
It says to comfort all that mourn.
Yeah, and who's going to mourn in this society? The ones that's righteous, the souls of the just complain continually. And those that waited patiently upon the Lord to comfort us. Read on.
Verse 3, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes.
Them that mourn in Zion, because people going to be mourning throughout all nations. But he said what? To comfort them that mourn in Zion. Showing you is only for the Israelites, the gospel. Read on.
Hey, that ties in perfectly with going and mark the men that sigh and cry. The sighing and crying.
Beautiful.
Right. You know,
For the abomination
that be done in the midst
thereof.
Exactly.
Kind.
Yeah. So only the righteous is going to be sighing and crying. That's the mourning. You know, we're always in the constant spirit of mourning because, Lord, how long? That's the spirit. How long, Lord? You know. Continuing, it says, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord Yahweh, that he might be glorified.
The deliverance of the elect. That's all prophecy. Read on.
Continuing, verse 4, it says, and they shall build the old wastes, they shall raise up the former desolations.
Right. Who's going to build it? The other nations. We're going to be ordering it and constructing it, but they're going to build it. And the enslavement, this all part of the gospel. This is what Yahushua quoted in Luke 4:17. But when you go into what Isaiah and read down, this is the whole gospel. So if you ain't talking this, you ain't spreading the gospel. You spreading bullshit. This is the good news to the Israelites. Read on.
Continuing, it says, and they shall repair the waste cities and the desolations of many generations. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks.
Right, see the enslavement of the other nations. And I believe the word there should be Nakar. You know what I mean? And Nakar means what? An actual heathen. Not the Gar. The Gar is the Israelite foreigner. And the Zawar, that's the Israelite foreigner. But Nakar is the actual other nations. So strangers shall stand and feed thy flock. So that's the setting up of the kingdom and the enslavement of the other nations. These is all what consists under the good tidings, the good news, the gospel.
Continuing, it says, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord Yahweh. Men shall call you the ministers of our power. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and their glory shall ye boast yourselves. For your shame ye shall have double, and for your confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them.
Right, and that's the gospel. You know, but it hit multiple topics of what the good tidings are. You know, so the priest Bakar, what the brother was saying, on you know, these false doctrines, you saying this and that, but you're not really talking. People saying, oh, that's bad, that's evil, but what we saying is actually good to a wicked kingdom. You know, this place got to be destroyed and done, burned down and done over with, and the kingdom got to get set up some way. You know, we gonna take a little bobcat or some shit and try to destroy brick by brick? That shit gonna take forever. That's why the Lord gonna bomb this shit with nukes. He gonna erupt these different volcanoes, Yellowstone and all that, and he gonna shoot this shit down with chariots. Not just America, various other parts of the earth. Cause you heathens, if you man, you tell a heathen like disassemble this building, that shit'd take forever. You be done beat big. You got mad and killed half of them because the shit taking too long. But if the shit halfway decrepit and it ain't much of it left, you like, yeah, bury them bodies. It's like, this shit should be done in 3 hours. And get that building next. Yeah, but that's why the Lord gonna break this shit up and flatten this shit so when the slaves kind of go, we could get that kingdom on a go.
Right. Hey,
But you got it, bro.
Come. There's a precept here too, just to highlight what the elder just said. You know, that we're really the only ones that are preaching the true gospel, because these churches claim to be teaching the gospel, but it's not just any gospel. There's a specific way. There's a specific thing that you guys are missing. And Yahushua highlights it right here. There's a book of Matthew.
Keep in mind that they call good evil and evil good. So when we preach the good news, they say that's wicked. And when they preach their good news, that's really wicked.
That's really wicked.
Right.
Exactly. Right. There's a book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 14. It says, and this gospel of the kingdom.
There you go.
All right. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So the highlighted point is the gospel of the kingdom. And we're the only ones, starting with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, we're the only ones, really Israelites, the only ones who are preaching the gospel of the kingdom. All you hear, ever since we got into truth, before we got into truth, what was the first thing I was saying? Yo, the kingdom, the kingdom, the kingdom. You know, when the apostles were disciples who became apostles after Yahushua had left, what were they saying? Will you now restore the king at this time? Restore the kingdom of Israel? You know, so that was always.
But hold up. Keyword is restore.
Ah.
So why are they asking him to restore the kingdom back to Israel?
Right.
So the kingdom being restored, meaning being brought back to Israel, that would mean that the next kingdom to come is going to be like before. But the heathens were never part of it the first time. So if the Lord was to restore it, even if he did it at that time, it wouldn't involve heathens. You got it?
Yeah. Now look this up because it's actually the spirit that y'all all bringing us out anyways, because this is like on the paper.
Man, that's crazy.
It says restore, etymology. It says to give back, also to build up again, repair, renew, reestablish.
Reestablish.
Re meaning what? Again.
Re meaning back again.
There you go. So if something is a stat, if you say, for example, you broke down this building and you're gonna reestablish it, or you're gonna reestablish a monument, that means it had to have been established first, and then you're reestablishing it, which means that something happened to it. Because you don't gotta reestablish something that's already established, right?
It says right here, bring back to a former and better state.
Hey, when you read in Ezekiel 38, he said, I will increase you better than the days of old. You know, so showing you better than what? The Garden of Eden, and also better than when Solomon had it.
Right.
Yeah, I got a quick precept. There's a book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 11. It says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen.
That's what? Reestablishing. Restoration.
Right, and it says what? The tabernacle of David. The tabernacle is going to what? The house. The house of David.
Yep, by
right?
Yahweh.
That's it. All right. It says that is fallen. So at one point it was standing and it fell.
Yep.
So the Lord said what? He's
Falling
going boom, falling away first. All right. So the Lord said what? He's going to build us back up, but this time it's going to be like no other. All right. It says fallen and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins. Right? Ruins. Going back to 70 AD. The whole entire nation, we were pretty much ruined. After 70 AD, that's when the cutting off began, because after we left Israel, the land was barren. There were no Israelites in there. So now these 1948ers hopped in there and said, oh, well, there's no land. Okay, then we are the people now.
But you know what? Ruins, right? You see a building, for example, this building is made up of different components.
Right.
But when you have ruins, you have some bricks over there, some scattered over there, some over here. Some of them you can't even find them.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you saw a brick that was like half broken, you wouldn't even know that it belonged to that building. So us in ruins is like us being scattered everywhere, Jake looking like these other nations. You can't even identify that this is one of the bricks of the building.
Right.
You know, but the Lord said what? He's gonna bring us back and build us back again.
Because we're demolished at one point. You know, when there's a demolition, you know, you might take like a axe hammer or something like that, and you just hit. You know what I'm saying? You just boom, and then what happens? The impact of that power, it spreads everything abroad. A sledgehammer, exactly. Yes, exactly. You know, and what happens? The impact just scatters everything abroad.
Yep.
You know, so sometimes you might be like, damn, like the impact right here, you let it all the way over there. Yes. That's why you might have somebody who might look like a Chinese man over there, but guess what? Before that impact, he started over here.
Right.
You know, you might have somebody who was, he was part of that building, that original building that got demolished. But the Lord said, Amos, he said, what? He's going to gather us. So that means that demolition that happened, guess what? All you people who were scattered from that impact, You're going to be brought back.
Gathered back.
Gathered
exactly.
back. That's
The
all
third
it is.
temple.
Exactly.
So
Building
that's
back
so the third temple is really gathering the pieces,
first,
right?
exactly.
And then
setting it up
building
again,
back.
and this
Well,
time
that's what
putting
you
your
did.
house on the top so it holds.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? That chief cornerstone, because back then we didn't have that chief cornerstone. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, they broke down the chief cornerstone, man. You know? I mean, if you break down the chief cornerstone, the whole foundation is gonna go down.
Well, let's just say they took it away.
They took it away. Let's just say that. They
Because a
took it away.
cornerstone is what keeps the building together.
Right.
You see that a cornerstone is just as it sounds, a cornerstone.
Pillar.
Yeah, that's supposed to keep the one side and another side connected to keep the building stable.
Yep. So the Lord said what? And I got you, Solomon. It says, and I will raise up his ruins and will build it as in the days of old. And during the time of King David, what was happening? All these nations were quiet.
What does it say?
All right,
Verse 8?
40 years of what? Of war, which resulted in 40 years of peace. All right, under King Solomon. All right, so the Lord is saying that He's going to raise it like He did back then during the time of David and during the time of
read that
Solomon.
again.
The time of David was what? Violence upon these other nations. That's what Yahushua is coming with. And once that violence is done, there's going to be peace on earth. Proverbs 29:2.
They're conquering.
Conquering.
I got a precept for you since you mentioned that.
And then Solomon does it.
Yeah. So,
Zechariah 12:8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as Yahweh.
as God, so not Yahweh, but as God, because that's a power. You know, so the house of David is going to be a power. You know, just like the Lord is saying. So when He says, "I have said ye are gods," right? But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Well, now the Lord is going to take us back to that God-like state. But really, we're going to be greater gods than. See, in the beginning, we were immortal, right? Sons of God. But in the kingdom, we're going to be actual gods, because in the kingdom, in the beginning, we only knew one side.
Right.
But from losing that power and going through the things we've gone through now, that's why the angel said, what? Lest they become like us. Lest he put forth his hand and eat from the tree of life and become like us. Because now he's been exposed to both sides. But you couldn't have both at the same time, right? You either had the immortality and just the one hand,
Righteous side.
right? Or you ate of the fruit and lost the immortality. But when we go back to the kingdom, we're going to have both. Because he says what? He that endureth unto the end, him will I give to eat freely of the tree of life. So we're going to be immortal, and we're going to have the knowledge of the right hand and the left hand.
Because we're going to be judges. If you want to be, if you're
Exactly.
going to be a judge, you got to know both sides.
Right.
You know. But
Oh, that was it on that, yeah.
Oh, just to add to your point when you was mentioning about bringing back the tribes together, my mother has a daycare, so sometimes when them kids get out of hand, she'll ask me to separate the kids. Like, I'll put them in my room like, yo, separate yourself, because you acting like a damn fool. You acting like you crazy, you don't know how to act. And what? We separate them, but then what? After they behave themselves, okay, you can go back with everybody now. Because you acting normal, you acting like everybody else. And when you actually go into, I believe it's Romans 11 with the grafting, if I'm not mistaken, talking about the grafting of the olive tree. When you go into grafting, I looked this up, I was actually reading the book of Job, and it led me to that. When you go into grafting, right? Grafting is about, like, let's say these two trees like of the same genes, right?
Right.
The only way you can graft these two trees is they have to be of the same genes, because their genes will match each other. If you try to get two different trees, the grafting won't really get together because they're not of the same genes. So when Paul is talking about the olive tree and then the wild one, the reason why they can be grafted back together is because they're of the same gene. They are the same people. It's just one was the natural one, which was just the circumcision, and then the wild one was just the Israelites that were acting a fool because they didn't know who they were. But you can bring them back together just like you would graft trees together, because they have the same gene, because they're of the same father. So when vocab is saying, oh, bringing out Galatians, oh, I'm a spiritual Israelite because I have the faith of Abraham. No, you have to be of the seed of Abraham. That's what it keeps mentioning. The seed.
Well, hold on. If that was the case, Balaam would have been an Israelite. Because he said, what? I wish I could be an Israelite.
Right.
So we just told him, hey, join our faith, bro.
That's it.
You know? And in that case, like I told you, can we become spiritual Ishmaelites
Right.
if we start getting into Islam?
Right.
Can we become spiritual Elamites if we get into the Buddhism and stuff like that? That shit don't make sense.
Spiritually be Ephraim? How do you spiritually be Judah? How do you, all right, you're a spiritual Israelite, but how do you spiritually become distinctive as a tribe spiritually?
Right.
That don't make
Right,
sense.
exactly.
Another thing, I always struggle to say his brother's name. I think it's Rakai Yaquam.
Yeah, Rakai
He
Yaquam.
made like a short video saying how if these Christians call themselves Israelites, then why is it when you ask them their nationality, why don't they say that they're Israelites? Because you're sitting there
say that
saying,
again?
nah, he said, he made it like a short video. He's saying, if these Christians are going to call themselves the seed of Abraham, then why don't you call yourself Israelites? Because if you're the seed of Abraham, you have to be an Israelite. So why is it when you ask them their nationality, like you said in the video, why is it that you don't say you're an Israelite? Because being the seed of Abraham means you're an Israelite. But they don't identify as that.
Right, because now the truth out about the Lord, so they don't want to identify with this doctrine.
Right.
So they don't want to call themselves, like case in point, the you got Ishmaelites from the Ottoman Turk Empire and Edomites over there blended up, right, in northern Africa. The Egyptians, right? Egyptian is in the Ishmaelites. It's some Hamites over there too, but when they come over here, they from Africa, but they American, right? So they asked them. They was like, yo, well, they say I'm Egyptian American, right? But the whole continent is Africa. So you be like, yo, y'all from Africa, right? They like, yeah. So you be like, so y'all African American, like, and then they'd be like, nah, because it's already a group of people that they don't identify with that call themselves African Americans. Because the Hamites, you know, they come over here, you know, and they become maybe like first generation born, and I seen it. They ask them, yo, you African American, you know, and they'll think like basically according to what an African American. I am an African American, but don't confuse me with them niggas in Brooklyn and Harlem.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And shit like that. So that's how I found it funny. That's how you know that term is bullshit. And they know that like it different type people. But it's funny, like a lot of them West African jakes, if you check out, like, you know, you probably go on a dating site or some shit or whatever, and you check out their profile, they put black. It say like it say like ethnicity. They put like black.
Right.
You know.
Like, bring it up. We're close with that.
Yeah, so we're about to close out. But got anything else you want to bring up? Yeah. All right, so there's a book of Revelation. Being that we are at the end of the book, you know what I'm saying?
This is where most of the good news comes up.
That's it.
Right? Because when you get to the end of the book, you're closest to the kingdom.
Yep.
And the gospel is about what?
The kingdom. That's it. That's it. Revelation chapter 22 and verse 6. It says, and he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true.
That's right.
And the Lord power of the holy prophets sent his angel to shew unto his servants the things which must shortly be done.
There you go. So the key point is what? They are faithful and they are true. So the good news, it ain't up to you to decide what the good news is. The news has already been determined. It's just gonna be, you know, good, bad for you or good for you. For us, it's good. That's all we care about. You know? Yeah. So anyway, you know, as the scripture said, these words are faithful and true. So we're gonna hang on to them just like the scripture say. You know. But with that, we're gonna end it off here before this thing comes down on us. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Until next time, Shalom.
Shalom.